you can do another CC playthrough. This one is Hog Island by MJ Hamilton, who I think was in the major design contest. I can't remember exactly which one. Yeah, it's quite long for a CC course. One sec, I think I need to check whether this is the T that he wants judging from. Should probably just turn the video off and restart, but we'll see. I mean, there are no notes about judging from alternative T's, so we'll go with this one. Okay, so yeah, Hog Island looks like, I want to say, a delta, I'd guess. Yeah, let's give it a go. So we're going to go with pin 2. I mean, I hope this is the right T, otherwise I'm almost certainly going to have to redo the video. But we'll see what comes of it. So anyway, as with all of these, this is going to be one of 2 playthroughs, at least I do on each course. The idea is basically I will say what I see, some of that you will agree with, some that you won't, and that's absolutely fine. Some of that will be what you were going for. But yeah, it's just going to be kind of feedback, things that I would see, and yeah, do get in touch if there's anything that you don't. Now, I would anticipate that, as with all of the previous videos, it will usually be quite a slow burn at the start, and I'll go through kind of saying quite a few things on the first couple of holes, and then we just tend to see the same things repeating over and over. So, first things first, the waste area is different. I like that we've got a waste area. I think there's quite a lot of nothingness here. I'd have probably brought the water's edge in a little bit more. I think you can... the vast expanses of pure white we can probably do without. What else have I got to say? Tee-shot wise, we're semi-blind, which I don't love. I don't think we need to. For CC, I think this fairway is on the narrow side. It's not too narrow. I mean, with the bumps in it, maybe we're getting a little bit difficult. I mean, I think I would be absolutely fine with this if you'd offered me more of a, like, if you play 2-wood, you've got way more fairway to work it into. As it is, until I kind of run out of hazards, I'm hitting 3-iron, and even then with the wind, I'm still thinking, well, I might end up going through into that heavy rough, so we're probably dropping down to here. Problem is, your fairway's all one very uniform length, which means I might as well take driver on. I get that there's the bunkers there, but in reality, bunker or heavy rough is kind of much of a muchness. I like the little T islands and the way you've done them. That bridge is fine. This one kind of stretches out and it's very linear. I don't mind it being a straight line. I just think you probably want some planting in and around it to break it up. I think what we're kind of seeing, I'm seeing already with this hole, is you need to commit a bit more to the environment for me. So these trees are all here, but we haven't really got much undergrowth underneath them. We've got a nice bit of planting here, but it's not really linked to this bit. There's then a big expanse of space here that I'd like to see you fill somehow. I'm not saying plant absolutely everywhere, but it's got to be kind of not... This bit I've planted because you might hit a layup spot here, but this bit I haven't, because you do notice on flyovers very quickly. I think, in all honesty, I get why you haven't got the trees here, because you don't want to block sunlight coming to the bunkers. I certainly think you could have brought the trees in more here and around, and then that would make life a bit easier. Personally, with this hole, I'd like to have seen you kind of give me a bit more fairway here, so that I can go wider, give myself a longer shot in, but play a bit safer. Most people are taking driver here anyway, but I think you've got to offer that safer option. And we're probably going bunkers. I'm not too bothered with the fairway being difficult to hit on a par 5. I just think you've got to give people an option to avoid taking on all of the difficulty. Kind of felt like I was forced into it. I might as well hit driver because it's all as narrow. The green's raised up, which is cool. I think we can do it a little more subtly. We can flatten some of these slopes out. You see they're kind of straight down and then straight across. I think we could get some smoothing going on there, or kind of one like humps and bumps or whatever. It just, yeah, it looks like it's one brush move rather than a couple. And we're going to go check out one of those slopes. I do like it as a little hazard though. I'm a big fan of a runoff, and the fact that you haven't heavily bunkered the green. I almost feel like I would like, you've got all of this waste area, I'd like you to use it a bit more creatively. Kind of, could we bank the green here somewhere, and then mean that off the tee you bring up the overhead. It's like if you put the green round here and angled it facing that way, well then maybe your best play off the tee is to head over there so you open it up. The fact that it's so dead straight means it's kind of just hit, hop on the green. And there's a place for that sort of golf. I just think you can make it more interesting, and offer people options of how to play the hole rather than saying to them you have to hit it here then here. See if we can hole one. No, it's never coming back. I do like the planting of the grasses and the very barren look of the waste. I like that river in the background. Already I'm seeing a lot of emptiness, and that's making me wonder how closely you've routed the holes together, and I feel like that might be an issue later on. Yeah, we've got a lot of barrenness over here. I think there's a lot of space to fill here. Okay, again, I don't really understand why we're semi-blind. You've got a really good look with this par 3. I don't love these little pinpoints with the bunkers. They look a little forced. I'd rather see that dune creeping in a bit more naturally. I like these bunkers and the way you've done them. Kind of, they're Whistling Straits-esque. The rocks are cool, but then we've got loads of nothingness again. And it is really jerking me out of the... There is an environment, but you haven't gone all the way with it. I think I really like the planting that you've done. I just wish I was more immersed in it. Now this pin is also tough. I feel like this is going to be one of the trickier CC courses I play. I don't think this is too tricky, not based on the first 2 holes. And I'm hitting a bad tempo, so we've seen a couple of greens now where we've gone for the crowned approach. I'm wondering, hoping that you're going to break that up a bit as well. See if we can get that rolling up. That's not too bad. Yeah, I'm all for this arid, wasty look. I think there's a lot I like here, and the water breaks it up very nicely. Might have a zoom around the plot in a minute. Ooh, this one's filled much better. Again, area down here that I'd like to see filled, but the trees underneath definitely had to it. I think the bunkering strategy is really cool. The actual bunkers you've used I'm more in love with than I am the waste bunkers at this point. So I'm going to zoom out and look around the plot, because I think this is where your problem is coming from. Yes, it is. Right, your main issue is that you've tried to use way too much of the plot, and moving the holes close together will give you far less dead space that you have to fill, which is why you've got so much emptiness here and all the watery area here, which is nice. But if you were to bring this closer by, I don't know, like even just to there, that's your little river and inlet, and then bring this hole really much tighter to this one, and here, and here, and here, because you're having to plant so many holes in complete isolation. Also, presuming we don't have a clubhouse, because we started down here, didn't we? Oh no, we've got a clubhouse there. Oh, so we started here. Got it. Oh, okay, I like the position of the clubhouse then. I think this little area where you've clearly planted and spent some time, I'd have loved to have seen you be freed up to do more of this. Let's zoom in and take a little look. Because I think you are really not far away from absolutely nailing this course. Yeah, okay, so we haven't really got planting here, but the edges of the dunes, I mean, they're cool. There's just this emptiness. Bring the plot edge in, or do something, or mound the land up, or trees, or what have you. The low-lying water's cool. The grass is nice. This area of planting is good. A lot of time for that. The rock wall is great. It's just the emptiness that we then get to all of this, and it's kind of like there's just nothing here. There's an area of quite a bit of planting, and then just nothing. Unfortunately, nothing doesn't really translate very well in this game. But that said, your problem has really stemmed from the all that nothingness has come from trying to use too much of the plot. Now this hole I like. There's a bit of Pine Valley about this in the bunker wall, which is cool. We're going to go just down here because I think driver might run through. Alright, now greens wise, it's been nice not to comment on the greens, which I have done in loads of the videos, because the sizes so far have been spot on. They've been appropriate. You had a small par 5 green, smallish, and as relatively, yeah, the green on the second was really appropriate as well. So if someone's commented on that in, say, major judging, you've picked up on that really well. I like this pin position, it's interesting. Kind of got a bit of maiden green here, which is one of my favourites. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, I can't play that much better. Personal take, I would try to see when you've got these little beerets, maiden slopes, I would try to make it so that the area in between is pinnable by kind of a considerable margin. So if we took this, say we've got one green grid here, 2, 3, whatever, one square. If we took this by 5 this way, and even if you're enlarging the green, or even 3 this way, 3 this way, and maybe made those slopes a bit sharper, you'll just have a better playable green, because it gets a bit half-pipey otherwise, where you'll have the ball just rolling up and then down, and it looks a touch gimmicky. Also, I think a pin in here is quite fun. It's a good option to have. But I like where you put this pin, it's good. And it gives me a fun option of how I putt it, which I quite like. Now if I go out this way, I'm almost certainly ending up below the hole anyway. If I'm going this way, probably less so. So I think we go this way. Yeah, that's kind of where I figured I'd always end up. And there we go. Okay, we're on a triple par start, but that's alright. Heading back into the sun. This hole badly needed some space filling in. And if you've run out of plant meter, you now know the reason why. It's just you've tried to fill too much space. Because we get to here and it's just like, oh, we're going to plant this bit. And it does really drag you out of the hole a bit. I do like the rock wall. I am not sure it fits here. I'm not sure I'd have put it here. I don't think it fits. But I like it. It's really I guess on a technical level and a visual level, it's really well done. For an overall environment level, I don't know whether I'd put it here. It doesn't. I'm not totally feeling it makes sense. I don't think this is driver. Hopefully we've got a wedge in. Ah, pitch. Okay, and we've got an interesting pin. So, short right is dead. I think the greens so far have been good. They are on the challenging side for CC. I think this one I'd maybe... Then again, we're a short 4. You're really challenging people with this one to lay up to a full wedge, which I like, and you've given us the space to do that. I'd maybe have liked to have seen you bring one more bunker in here, because the green's angled this way. If you could give me an ideal spot of laying up to about here, challenge that with one bunker. I like this bunkering, but it's mostly visual. If you give me one off the tee there to kind of force me into this pitch layup distance, or lay way back and have, say, gap wedge, pitching wedge, I think that would work really well. Now, as is, with this wind, we're up 14 feet. I think we can probably go with this. I tend to hit fast, so... Oh, he hits it slow. Might be good, though. The little house in the background's nice. Again, I query whether we need it. I like it, but why is there a it's not really a neighbourhood sort of course, so I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit of stuff for the sake of stuff, but it looks nice. That's not any kind of points taken off or anything. That's more just I would query why you are putting things where you put them. And it's another par. Lighting's really good. Got a lot of time for that. There's loads on this course I'm enjoying. I do think it's long for CC off this tee. I'm gonna have to clarify. I mean, I guess unless you've said otherwise, this is the tee you want judging. If this were put on CC, it would certainly be on the tee down, because for pro clubs, I think this is too long. Yeah, you've got the... I'm going to stop speaking about the emptiness. I think you can see it. On the left, there's just loads of space where there's nothing. Same on the long right. The course needs more space to live in. Or really needs to fill its space. Come on, we can hole apart. I haven't really looked at bunker sculpting yet. I feel like it's pretty good. Yeah, it's solid. You've got them to sink in and sit into the ground nicely. This one I think you can do a little bit better. You can raise up the... If you lower down this bit and raise up this, you'll get a little better of a look, but it's because it's benched into an awkward hill. In all honesty, if you lost this front hill or the bunker, that would make more sense. You're just trying to fit it into land where it doesn't really suit. Am I overreading this? You've also published at 187. Right, okay. I'm not sure this is a CC course. I'm enjoying it, but I think the decisions with the distance and 187s... The thing with... Oh, it's an awful part. Things with 187s is that schedulers, if they want to put it on tour, they have the option of putting it to 187, so unless it's a course that should only be played at 187, so like for a major contest, don't publish at 187. I mean, yeah, emptiness again. I hate to keep harping on about it, but it's all I see here is just this planting is too far removed from the hole. It's almost like this hole has barely been planted at all, because that was from the previous one. The bunkering is nice, but not in play. Tricky little green. I like the green slopes. I think your par 3 should really be kind of the holes that you plant. Not, I wouldn't say first, but you've got your par 3s need planting. They are big set pieces where everyone is looking at them from exactly the same spot. There's got to be a view there that really drags you in. And we've got one very lonely bit of grass in the background, which I'm presuming is autogen. Oh, I'm overreading all of these. I think that would be another question as well. To what extent have you used the autogen planting? Because you can... I feel like you have. There's a lot of trees on here. But really lean into auto-gem planting with the trees, particularly in Delta, which is a good theme, and almost all of the trees look good. You can clear them out one by one if you need. Here I don't think you have. They're just on top of each other a little too much. The other thing I think is holding you back a little bit now with Delta is you haven't really placed any. You haven't placed any heavy rough. So we've just got this. Oh, you've done a bit here. But we've got this natural base texture. If you took the heavy rough outline and went around here, don't know what you'd do with this, and here, and all the way around, you'll notice a huge improvement to the whole. This wall again, I'm questioning what it's doing there. They look nice, I don't really understand them. I don't think they fit on the course. The central bunkers on this hole are really good. That one, sculpting has kind of gone away from your touch. By which I mean, if you pull, this is hard to explain, if your bunker surface is basically riding right up to the very top of where you've sculpted, then you get this kind of, it looks like it's almost falling off. So we want to avoid that where possible. Just delete some of the bunker brushes and bring it back to about here, you'll notice a much better effect. So second par 5 green, kind of gone for the same thing. It's raised up. There aren't any bunkers around it. If I land a 2 wood on there, I don't think I'm stopping it. And if I'm not stopping it, I'm probably ending up down there or over the back. So I think I'm going to lay up for this one, which I do not mind at all. I think it's a happy accident, but I like that little mound there that makes me think about whether I want to lay up to there or... So I think ideally I do. Oh, we've got it very fast. Well, thank you for giving me all this fairway over here. That's very friendly. And now we're into pitch distance. Oh, I only got myself to blame. But that should be good, and we can pick up that shot, hopefully, that we've dropped. Oh, I am reading everything massively over. Okay, need to just hammer these straight at the hole. I'd like your par 5 to play with a bit more risk reward. I don't really feel we've had it on either hole 1 or hole 7. Oh, didn't mean to skip that flyover. I'd also like you to use the coastline a bit more. If you've got this, give me a hole that really either forces me to play close to it, which I guess this one kind of does, but I don't think I'm not that close. Or make it so that my best line into the green is from directly next to the water. Okay, a little bit of a punch bowl green. I like that you've bunkered the back of the green. I don't think enough people do that. And you've bunkered it realistically as well, in that the green drops down into the bunkers. I like this a lot. This approach shot is good. I would have liked the angles to matter more. It doesn't... I could have gone either side of the fairway and it makes no difference, really. Hopefully that comes off the little backstop. Not believe that putting is normally my strength. Let's go to here. I see now that one's broke low. That's fine, we're just playing it for a playthrough. And it's not your greens, it's my inability to read them today. For whatever reason. I'm trying to think what else I'm seeing. I like the little tee boxes and the way you've done those. I have liked that you've almost encased the fairways in green. Okay, we're back to the waist, and it now... I feel like I've seen this green 4 or 5 times already, the raised up green that's sloping off. I haven't seen it that many, but it feels like I've seen it a lot. For CC, I don't like this hole, and I'll tell you why. First of all, I have no problem with you taking driver out of my hand, but I would like you to give me a way to generate a decent angle into this pin. As is, I'm going to have to cross that, and I know we can have hard holes or easy holes, but the only angle I've got it in is coming across that front slope towards that back slope with a relatively low lofted club. I get why you've bunkered this area. Maybe give me a layup down here. I feel like you just need to extend this fairway so that if I'm taking it on from this angle, I've got a wedge or 9-iron at most. I could be wrong. Maybe that is what I will have in, but I feel like forcing 3-iron. We've also got these bunkers hidden. We've got the fairway blind. I think this hole is not far off from being good. I think the base idea is a nice one. But the length and the way you've set the hole up, and the fact that I'm coming in at this with 5-iron is just too much. And I hope that's okay, because I've hit that as well as I can do. Yeah. This is the one hole that for me so far has been a miss. Let's go gap wedge and make sure we get it up. I mean, I am not surprised to see this playing stroke 3. I also think it's going to be the same shot no matter what pin you've put in. It's just the angle you've created. It's a really... The angle you've created is good. I almost missed that one as well. And the way you have done the hole is good. It's just too severe. The ideas behind it are nice. Okay, we now cross the water and space needs filling. It's a long hole with... I mean, this really has Whistling Straits vibes. There's that... I think I want to say the sick that Whistling Straits is kind of hit dead straight, then hit dog leg right, direct right angle. The drive, it's there. I don't really feel... I think you could, with all the water you've got, I have to feel you could have found a better hole here, in that, or rather a better tee shot. Like, why not? Let's see if I can get the actual camera working the way I'd like it to. So, we've got tee shot from here. You've got a gorgeous bit of land. You've got great lighting. First of all, the first hole I see is, I think you've gone too right-angled here. Right-angled holes feel like they should introduce options, but they kind of don't, because even let's say this is carryable, we've got the same carry to there, to there, to there, to there, almost. I mean, roughly. If you turn this more on the diagonal, I think you've got a better hole. Actually, the best hole I'm seeing is going out this way and up here, and you've got a green down there, and you've got a pretty standard cape hole, where you're biting off as much distance as you can chew on the drive, but every little step left gets you much closer to the green. It's just a bit too linear for me. Additionally, the fact that our landing zone is here, you've got all this water, but none of it's in play, and it's a great hazard, and I'd love to be taking it on a bit more rather than it just be the setting. And don't get me wrong, I think we can overdo using water as a hazard, for sure, but here I think the reason I mention it is because it would have really benefited this hole. Now again, I've got a par 5 green with a steep runoff on pretty much all sides. I feel like with this one I'm going to go for it just because I don't really think I've got a better layup option. And now we've got a tough putt, and we're through a swale, which I'm okay with. I'm assuming we're going to have quite a lot of left to right. Let's go up here and see what happens. I enjoyed that part a lot. That's pretty good. that was a fun part. I do feel that it's almost, I'm not going to say impossible, but it's really difficult to hold the right tier that pin's on. Okay, this little cliffside is nice. It would have been nicer if the beach had a bit of planting on it, or the planting on the left was a bit closer in. Those, I'm not sure about the trees, because they block the hole, they block the hazards. That needs to bounce through. Again, the bunkering is solid. I think the bunker look is good, the style is good, the way you've used quite a number is nice. This green I like far more. It encourages me to play close to the hazard, which is good. I've got no shot. Absolutely zero chance I stop this on the green. Yeah, I think that's about as well as we can do. Okay. Oh, that needs to sit a bit. Green slopes here are a little bit random. We've got breaks going off to the left. We've got breaks going off to the right. It's kind of all funneling. It's all funneling down into here. It feels like you've just taken the raised brush and just gone wild with it, rather than really thinking about where the brakes would have gone. And we've pushed it. And yeah, that is a way to add difficulty. I'd like to see the slopes making a bit more sense. Okay, another really long par 5. Although in fairness, the previous one said it was long and didn't play that long. Again, it makes me wonder, is this... I think one of the big things with this contest is this course CC appropriate? 359 yards out of the heavy rough. I'm interested to see what my third shot into this par 5 is. I get that I've missed the fairway, but if I've got 350 yards in on a par 5 anyway, your job is to make the second shot really interesting. And then we've got... yeah, I'm okay with the pin. It's on the tuft side. Tuft side even, of course, but I'm okay with that on a par 5. Here's the thing, I don't think I'm playing that badly. I'm not putting well, but that's about it. No. And yet I don't really think this course gives you very many opportunities to score. At least not at a CC level. Corn Ferry Euro? Yeah, maybe. I can see this. Okay, I like that we've got a bit more planting here. I think your fairway here is starting way too short. The bunkering is good, but yeah, if you look at where this is starting, this apron, I'd be wanting to see probably starting around here at absolute earliest. Also, if you consider it to your previous par 3s and go back and look at them, it's very different. We've got another perch green. I think we've seen probably enough of these now. Oh, there's a swing. Nope, not quite. I mean, I'll be doing another playthrough on a different pin. My main take is that this is too tough for what you are going for. And the distance is a large part of it. You've got greens that would be great at CC if they were designed for a 9-iron, but they are taking in, like you're hitting a 5-iron. Bunkering again I really like. It looks solid. I think that's been this course's main strong point. The little bunkering scheme and the way you've done the shapes is really nice. I'd be really interested to see how... Okay, we've got a weird waypoint thing here. I'm assuming you've put your waypoint somewhere up here because there's no reason I should be given a... Or is it here? I don't know. You want to fix that because that's weird that I'm being given a gap wedge here, and that's because you put the waypoint in the fairway somewhere odd. That could be okay. Sit down just a little. Maybe that's a putt even I can't miss. There we go. I think this is more in the vein of just, it's a point and shoot course in the sense, and I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. This is rewarding people who can hit tempo, hit fairways, hit greens. There's something to be said for that. Is this green? Okay. We've also seen a lot of the geometric style greens, as in they're quite squares and rectangles. It's at odds with everything around it. You've got the nice flowing bunker shapes, and the fairways are... Okay, it's a bit linear there, but for the most part you've got lots of curves and what have you. I don't think the green shapes really fit, for me at least. This tee shot's good. I like that it's bite off as much as you can chew. That's kind of what I was on about on the par 5, I want to say 10th. That sort of a tee shot is great. And I really like the way you've angled this green as well to reward people who play the closest to the inside of the dog leg. I'd have liked you to have exacerbated this even more. Like, if we've gone for a... Firstly, let's say we've gone for a curvier green shape, that would help you. Because then you can anchor your look. Part of the reason I don't think you've bunkered this one is because it's a rectangle and you don't really know how to place your bunkers, or... It would look odd if you'd put bunkers down here because you've got this juxtaposition of rectangle with your nice curvy shapes. So I'd probably smooth out the green shape, keep the same angle, the angle's great, bunker the inside corner so that if I'm bailing out over here away from these bunkers, well, I'm definitely coming in over those ones, which makes me want to take on the aggressive play. I do think this is one of your better hole designs, particularly the tee shot so far. I really like the tee shot, and it's executed well. Is this enough? We'll find out. That was a dreadful shot. And now I think I'm on a tear. Excellent. I don't think stopping it will be too much of a problem. Down 2 feet, but we can feed it all the way from the right. From the left even, sorry. Oh, that needs to slow down big time. Yeah, took too much on that. See if we can putt from here. No, I've not played this well. May not even get a bogey, yeah. I'm now putting badly. Oh, this is on me. Yeah. That's a lot of stupid putts in a row. Oh well. Right. 16. The green site's really cool, first of all. We've done the same thing as 9 though. I can tell you already. The idea is good, but you've got to give me an apron or something in between here. Or even a reason why you've just disjointed this green. Because you're going to make me lay up, I think, again. Also, the waypoint's gone weird again. I don't know why I'm being given driver there. Oh, good, very fast. So, here's why we don't disjoint greens or fairways without a really good reason, and when we do, we give... So, what is my shot now? I can go for hacking it up here, but I am definitely in the heavy rough. Or I can lay back here, and I've got 170 odd yards. It's far too punitive. So we end up hacking into heavy rough, and I don't really care what my swing is like, and happy to take the very fast because it's just chewing up yardage. It's it's not really what you wanted to accomplish. I think the main thing I'd say with this hole is you didn't need to disjoint the green and fairway anywhere near that much. We could have... I'll zip back to the hole view. I don't understand why we haven't got fairway. I'm fine with you surrounding the greens with bunkers like this. I like that a lot. But I don't understand why we don't have fairway here. It doesn't make... the more I see it, the more I'm not sold on this geometric style here. It's at odds with the fairway bunkers, and the curviness here, it doesn't really work. I think with the geometric stuff you either have to go all in on it or just don't do it. It's not a halfway house. I've never got the hang of these greens. Okay, 17 and 18. Well, we've had an absolute mare on the last two holes, so let's see if we can finish well. 200 yard par 3. The wasty bit comes back in again. I don't feel you've used this to your maximum. Yeah, see, now we've gone away from the geometric shapes and it looks much better. Use a backstop. So with this, I think, in terms of gauging your target market, I'm on CCA, and which is going to be the top end of what you would be pitching this to. And at the moment, other than playing dreadfully on Bethpage and picking up 3 demo marks, pretty much around the kind of middle of CCA. So really this is the high end of what you'd be aiming for. Now, I've not played brilliantly here, I'll happily admit that, but I think the fact that I'm 5 over, admittedly with 2 stupid putts, shows you that we're not really hitting our target audience in terms of difficulty. Let alone the fact that I'm using master clubs and you'd be catering for guys with pro clubs as well. Okay, we can probably play it to there. Yeah, we've then got the pimples again, and they now feel like they've come out of nowhere because we haven't seen them in so long. I think one of the things I'd really say about this course is I would like for you to have more of an identity with your next course. And I don't mean that this lacks key features. What I mean is that I'd like you to decide right at the start exactly what you're going for and stick with it. And I don't think you've done that. Can we hold something? Of course we can't. Yeah. Anyway, I'll talk you through the last little bits. You've heard most of my major comments as we go, but just while we're signing off then, let's load up the scorecard. Okay, and I'll just load up the form that you will eventually be. So just with the kind of judging categories, so that you know what I'm talking about and when I'm talking about it. Playability and shot values. That's basically to what extent did the course let you give you options, to what extent did it let you choose where you were going off the tee, was it forgiving in the right places, punishing in the right places, was I hitting different types of shots, draws, fades, etc, etc. Now, for me, there is one way to play this course, and it is hit the middle of the fairway, hit the middle of the green, putt. There were a couple of holes where you were giving me different kind of preferred sides of the fairway, but there were a good number where it was just hitting it as far and as straight as you can. That's a type of golf. For me, I think in these sorts of contests we're looking for a little bit more than that, in terms of give us options and ways to play different holes. For someone who is trying to lay back a little bit further, let's let them lay back a little bit further and have an angle in, or if I was laying up, I was basically taking the green out of range too often. The technical execution was solid, actually. The bunkers were good. The greens were, I think greens were my major thing with technical stuff. Some of the slopes on your flatter greens were a bit random. You didn't bring large slopes from outside the green into the hole. Those sorts of things will make you much better. But I thought the ones where you used tiers were really nicely done. I would try to vary the size of your green depending on the length of approach. And again, we come back to that difficulty. If I'm hitting to a tucked pin on a short par 3 or a reachable par 5, all fine, because if I miss on a short par 3, well, I had a wedge in hand, I should be better. If I miss on a reachable par 5, well, you've probably given me somewhere to lay up and go through. And therefore I'm taking on the risk. Same with drivable par 4, you've given me alternatives. I didn't really feel I had that very much. Yeah, aesthetics and environment. Talked about the wall thing. I liked it. I don't really think it fitted. The same with the sand dunes, the pimples and like the ups and downs in the waste bunker that we saw on 1 and 18. I would have liked you to be a bit more consistent with it. Just stick with it, or not do it on just 2 holes. I don't know. For me, it didn't really fit the environment either. Your main issue, though, is you must root more tightly or plant more heavily, because there was just huge amounts of empty space which dragged your attention way away from the hole. And I think you can also get away with the holes being more punitive and more this is how you play them, that almost Jack Nicklaus style of design where it's hit here then hit here, if you've got prettiness and nice things to distract you from it. I'm not saying we didn't have pretty planting. I think some of the stuff you did was really nice, but it was only in very minute areas around the playable surfaces, and there was a lot of emptiness. Routing, flow cohesion, variety of holes. Routing we talked about, that will make the biggest difference. Try to route holes right next to each other so that you don't have to plant a hole twice or a section twice, and you build out more. I mean, give yourself a challenge where you put a course on using only a third of the hole plot maximum, or just zoom around and see. You're on PC, you can go into camera mode and zoom around other courses and see how close together their playable surfaces are. But I think that will really help you. Variety of holes is a big one for me. First of all, 4,000 yards on the back 9 would be the longest we had in the major contest that's just gone. I think Dario's Conservatory West was 4,000. Bang on. It's far too long for a CC course. As is the front 9. Our CC courses around about this length. Now maybe this is your judging length, and if so, we'll ignore those comments. But from what I can see from the thread, this is your judging length, and that's a real issue. Additionally, I felt you reused the same things a lot. Pin greens that are raised up 3 or 4 feet with fall-offs everywhere, which meant I couldn't really run the ball onto the green if I'd wanted to, meaning you're either going for it and you miss, or you're going for it and you hit. I think things like that. I would have loved to have seen shorter par 4 somewhere. We had this one here, 4, I really liked. That was the one where I talked about maybe laying up to the right, and that's one that sticks in my memory because it was just a bit different. The rest were, not all of them, but a lot of them were just hit here, then hit to the green and hope. Or rather, that's unfair, hit to the green and hit tempo and get a good putt. This one was more, you gave me a choice of if I laid up I might have a full wedge, or if I went for it, if you'd have sprinkled in the odd 340 yard hole here or 400 yard hole on the back 9. But look at these yardages, 470, 467, 477. They're all long holes. That's your short one. And that one for me played into a headwind. So yeah, I think those are all my comments. Do ask if you have any further questions, but I really hope that's been helpful. That's how it's intended. And I know we tend to pick up on a lot more of the things that we would change than the things that we like. I think there's a lot there that I thought was really close. I think you're on the cusp of a really good look with this course, and just tighten up the routing, meaning you can plant more efficiently, plant close to the holes, and just really consider options off the tee. If I want to lay up, where can I lay up? If I want to go for the green in 3 on a par 5, how am I achieving that? What's my ideal line off the tee, and how does that benefit me into the green? what's my bailout off the tee, and how am I kind of a little bit punished from going into the green in terms of subtlety. All of those things I hope will help for you, and kind of, yeah, good luck, and I hope this helps moving forward.